Heyo, guys, girls, and everyone in between. This is Rebellious Pastry here, and welcome to this um 41st episode of the Hobby Interview Show. My one quick announcement before we introduce our guest is I'm sorry that I delayed the show from Wednesday to today, and also the fact that I had to delay today's show a half an hour. Um, Happenings keep on happening. But everything's okay now, or at least I hope so. Um, and yeah. Um, Anyways, why don't you introduce yourself with your name and pronouns?
Hello, I'm Rainbow Sparkle. I use she, her pronouns, and it's nice to be here.
Yes, it's nice to have you too. Can you please, um, let's see here. Can you please hand me your YouTube and describe to me what you do on there?
Will do. So I do gotcha life stuff, gotcha club, all that stuff. I mostly do memes, but just recently I just put out reaction videos and they absolutely blew up. Like they got thousands of views. I wasn't expecting it.
Wow, what were you reacting to?
Well, basically, it was a whole bunch of characters from different fandoms reacting to the dark sides of each other.
Oh, that makes sense actually. And yeah, so what is the hobby that you're interviewing for, or I'm interviewing you for today? Also, before you answer that question, Rainbow, just um, no one's here yet, but I'll make the announcement anyway. So, Donabatch, feel free to ask me any, or not. Don't ask me questions, but please feel free to ask Rainbow Sparkle, any questions about script, about her hobby. Um, And yeah, I'll go over that PSA or AS PSA after I ask her a few questions. Anyways, so what is your hobby?
Script writing.
And how long have you been doing script writing slash story writing?
Uh, I've been doing it for quite a while, ever since I was in sixth grade. So like 2018, maybe 2019.
Let's see, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 7 years. You've been doing this for 7 years. So, let's see here. How did you find script writing?
Uh, it was it was back when I was really into My Little Pony, and
Also,
I I've
also Rainbow, let me, send you a new, freaking, freaking show link because, um, let's just say that, my, let's just say that Streamlabs don't like me using the same, I don't know. Streamlabs is being weird. Um, there you go. Um,
all right.
and then, yeah. Anyways, sorry that I handed Rainbow the wrong stream link. I thought it was gonna be the right one, and then it's like, let's start the show on a totally different stream link. Yeah. Anyways, So, um, you've been doing this for 7 years, and then please answer the, um, how did you find it? Rainbow sparkle, rainbow sparkle. Um, what is going on with your iPad?
No, no flipping clue.
Anyway, so how did you find script making slash story writing?
Okay, so I found this one website called FimFiction, where basically all My Little Pony fan fictions are made.
Mermaid? Yeah.
A sequel to one of the most popular fan fictions on the fandom.
Hmm. And then how did it evolve from that? Rainbow.
I'm here.
Alright, and how did it evolve from that?
Uh, it evolved pretty well. I eventually started writing an original story,
Ooh.
which of course wasn't that great at first, but
But what?
yeah, it was it was it was fun. But then I got into other
Into other what?
fandoms. Then I made my first crossover fan fiction
Ooh.
with My Little Pony and Henry Stickmin.
Interesting. um, you're lucky that the pastry fandom isn't all that judgmental. I have a feeling that people might think some things about you just because you're a fanfic writer. Anyways, um, so let's see here. Why are you interested slash why do you do it?
To let my creativity run wild.
And then, how much did it? How much does it cost to make for you to do story writing? Yes, I'm gonna make you count all the costs of your programs and equipment. Unless you literally are from the Stone Age and use paper and pencil. Is that my internet or is that your internet? Hello? Hello?
Hello. I'm just gonna switch devices real fast because this is really weird. Give me a sec.
Alright. Hello?
Hello. I'm back on the phone.
Cool. So, um, how much does it cost for you to do this hobby? Yes, I'm gonna make you include your equipment.
Uh, I'm absolutely not sure. I mean, writing the story itself, it's absolutely free,
And it
but I would.
doesn't take like a powerful computer either.
No, it does not.
So I'm just gonna say that um tell me if it's more or less, but like is your computer more or less than $500?
I haven't written anything on my new computer yet. It was mostly on school computers. So I'm not too sure what the prices were.
That's so fair. So, um, cause I tend to, cause I tend to like, um, don't let people say that their hobby is absolutely free just because like there's always something you gotta pay for. But yeah, but considering this is writing and you don't use any apps for like you don't like use Grammarly or anything, do ya?
I do, but the free version.
Okay. And then that goes and then that is pretty much the answer to is it one cost or something you keep on paying for? Since you don't necessarily pay for anything. Um, and then let's see. Um, my next question is, and yes, before you say anything, I did ask a guest who I interviewed for walking how much his shoes costed. Yes, I am that guy. Um, I didn't even let him say that his hobby was free. Um, anyways, do you make any money off of your story writing? Do you make any money off of your story writing?
No, I don't. It's just for fun.
And do you have any plans on on how you're gonna end up making money or no?
Not really.
And then how many hours a week do you typically spend on writing stories?
Uh, I I would usually just start writing on my like whenever I feel like it.
You don't have any sort of like time estimate on that at all?
So like flexible.
Flexible? Um, how many hours did you spend last week on it? Hello? Oh man. Oh hey, we have 5 viewers. Now it's time for me to make my announcement of if you have any questions for Rainbow Sparkle for story writing, please feel free to ask at any time. But we do please ask for you to either put an at rebellious pastry or an at or a donut emoji so that we know that you're talking to us, not each other. But please keep in mind that I will still moderate the chat. So please don't be mean to each other. And yeah, I think that's it for that announcement. And I'm going to um move on with the questions. My preset questions. Oh, also, um, we will go over the preset questions before we move on to fan questions, just to make sure that the preset ones are asked because they're guaranteed questions for every episode of the hobby interview show. So that's why we will ask the
Gotcha.
preset ones before the fan ones. And yeah, anyways, I will make this announcement again after I'm done with the preset questions. So, how many hours did you spend on story writing last week? since you don't have a time estimate for how much time you spend per week. Is it my Wi Fi or yours that is having a skill issue? Rainbow!
Hello.
Hello! Did you get my question or did it, like, glitch out?
Yeah, you were cutting out.
Okay, cool. I don't know if that's my internet or yours. Anyways, so, um, um, how much time did you spend um, on story writing last week?
You're cutting out again.
Do you want me to switch to Google Meets? Cause sometimes Discord does not like, or sometimes Discord does not like to call when Google Meets have treated things just fine. So, would you like for us to switch to Google Meets? Cause this is getting ridiculous. Let's see here. Meets.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Um, I don't know why, but Discord use um works better for some people, but yet Google Meets works better for others. Let me give you the meeting link real quick.
All right.
Paste. Um, sorry we're having to switch platforms again. Let's see. Is it letting me call on both Discord and? Whoa. Whoa. I'm on two calls at once. Crazy concept. Um, go ahead and join the Meets call, please.
All right, on it.
I'll hang up on Discord. Um, view, admit. Hello again. I hope this works better for you.
Hello?
Um, can you hear me without me like crashing and burning?
Yes, I can.
Cool. So, um, can you tell me how long you spent last week? Um, with story writing um since you don't have like an average.
Uh, didn't spend much time last week story writing either, but does role playing count?
Um, roll. That's honestly, I'm gonna say if you actually keep track of it and plan to like post it somewhere, then yes. But if you don't keep track of it, then no.
Most of the times we don't
So that don't count then.
YouTube on some of my friends' channels.
Yeah. Um. So I'm gonna say it doesn't count. But good question
All
though.
right. Well, guess not.
So how many hours a week did you spend? How many? Okay. How many? I'm gonna ask this a little differently. How many hours a month do you averagely spend on script writing? Because apparently, how many hours a week don't work. Hello, can you hear me? Do 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 do
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm
do.
thinking. Um, Honestly, I'm not too sure how many hours I've spent.
Or is it just like something that you just keep in your pocket and just scribble things on as you think of them?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Like I've written several short stories recently, not like full-blown stories. The largest story that I've written was finished back in back in December of 2023.
That's and then let's see what my next question is after I go back into the correct tab. Um, is it easy to have other hobbies?
Well, if they align with my if they align with my creativity, then yeah.
So, so my point of that question is to make sure, like, is because some hobbies make it so that you spend so much time on that hobby that it's almost impossible to have other hobbies, and and um, then you got hobbies that it don't matter how much time you spend on it or don't. So in those cases, that'd be yes. So my guess for your answer is yes. It's easy to have other hobbies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
then
is.
and then um is it easy to work with others?
Uh, I haven't collabed with anybody uh based on stories in a while, but I would say it is pretty easy.
So um so you wouldn't say it's like a big ol' huge argue fest, would you?
Nope.
Hmm. And then how has story writing helped you?
It unleashes my creativity.
How has it helped you mentally?
Uh, I'm not too sure. Maybe maybe it's because I like the more slice of life slash dark genre, and I like giving characters a lot of mental health issues.
Oh man, that'll make my personal questions even funner to ask, I guess. But um, yeah,
But overall, I don't really think they affect me mentally because not not to brag or anything, but my mental health has been stable ever since I left school.
that's good. Um, yeah, that makes sense. But would you say that it helped you during dark times?
Absolutely, it takes my mind off of things.
Um, sorry, I confused Wednesday's guest by having him think that his show is today because I sent him the link to this show. I'm so sorry, man. I know. It's confusing having a show on Monday.
Flipping hell.
Yeah. Anyway, um, I don't think it would help you physically unless it helps you get more exercise to for you to write stories or
No, it doesn't.
help you connect with nature.
Unless I write them outside.
I mean, you could. Anyway, so what are the downsides to writing? Because you can't exactly say that nothing has a downside.
Oh boy. Writer's block.
Hmm. Um,
Basically, it's when you write a story but you don't have any ideas.
oh man, yeah, that sucks. Honestly. Anything else like hand cramps? No, you type things. um,
I could still get cramps after typing for a long time.
yeah. Do you ever get cramps from hand cramps from story writing?
I can't remember the last time I did.
That's good. Any other downsides or no?
Mm, not that I can think of. Writer's block was the main thing that came to mind.
And then here's the golden question of the reason of why I even do this show, which is, would you recommend it to others?
If you have some stories to tell, absolutely.
Yeah. And then yeah, that's it for the preset questions. This seems like a pretty chill hobby when it came to those preset questions. Um, there's been a good chunk of times where we have, or like not a good chunk, but sometimes we spend like over half of the show going over the preset questions. You could imagine that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for preset questions, which means donut batch slash Rainbow's VR friend base. Anyway, so feel free to ask Rainbow questions about story writing. This is not a general Q&A, so if you try to ask me a question or if you try to or if you try to um ask a general question to Rainbow Sparkle of that does not pertain to um story writing, then I'm going to take the comment down because we've had too many issues with that in the past. But anyways, this is a hobby interview show, not a Q&A. Anyways,
Right.
so what so I'm going to go into the most obvious question, which is what do you like to write and why?
Fan fiction? Duh. I since I rarely write like legit stories, I find more creativity in writing fan fiction because I have a base to go off of than if I was like writing like like an actual legit story. Without a base, it's all up to me.
Yeah,
As long as I have a base to go off of, I just let my creativity run.
that's fair, but I feel like that there could be there could be like downsides to that because like um have you ever actually built a character, like character build any characters, or do you just take pre-existing characters and only pre-existing
I
characters?
I have made several original characters. Like if it was for a school project, then yeah.
Can you please explain the characters that you built over the time. And then also,
Oh boy.
please keep in mind that that I say in my rule book that you can mention mental illnesses, but just don't joke about them.
Gotcha.
I just wanted to make that because you mentioned about writing your characters with a lot of mental problems. I just wanted you to make sure that you knew what the line was on talking about that stuff. Because you've definitely read that rule sheet, right?
Yeah.
Don't pull a task and hop on the show without reading your rule sheet.
Jesus.
I can make fun of him for that because he is my best friend, which is the reason of why I even let him on without making 100% sure that he read the rule sheet. Anyways,
Right.
so, anyways, crap. Okay, explain to me some of your original characters and the character development that you've written for them.
Oh boy. Most of the original characters that I've created are either iterations of me or or based on certain fandoms.
So you're basically dealing with a whole lot of self inserts.
Basically, but there are some original characters.
Okay, before you answer my question on the um like your OCs, I want to ask you like what makes your self inserts different from each other than like the series they're from, or is that pretty much it?
There are two different self inserts that I've basically made the same person. Like there's one from one fandom and one from the other fandom that I've basically merged together to make the same person.
Hmm. But would you say that all of your self inserts have the same personality or no?
Kinda.
Hmm. Have you ever done like an AU where they're all in the same universe together?
No, I haven't done that.
Maybe you should.
There there is one that could be considered close enough to that, which is basically the wallpaper to my iPad.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Um. Let's see. Um. Anyways, continue talking about your other OCs.
The other ones are from my most recent big story. One one of them was one of them used to be the no wait. God, there's so many. I have so many good ones that it's hard to talk about them.
Okay. Why don't you just choose three or four and talk about them?
Okay. There's there's two that were former friends of the main character. They they started dating each other after the main character went missing and had a family. And then another one of the OCs is the grandchild of the same two characters.
Hmm. Interesting. And why did you decide to have them date?
just for the story and plot, because gotta have a grandchild in there somewhere.
I guess. How, in general, how plot heavy are your stories in general?
I'm not too sure.
And also, since you mostly work with characters who um already exist, do you tend to have them stay in character for most of the time, or do you like to break their character sometimes?
I like to break mostly the main character or one of the main characters, like give them some sort of mental disability
No, I mean,
or
as when I meant by break, as in like break, like when it comes to like um character, um why can't I think of words? Ah, anyway, so um just like, do you tend to keep with how the character was originally written, or do you tend to change how the character was written to be?
it depends on my mood. Like in in most of the short stories I've written, they've stayed basically the same, but in some other short stories, they have a completely different backstory and something that I've learned that is that the things that you experience throughout your lifetime can affect your personality.
100%. Fortunately and unfortunately. Um, but yeah, let's see. What would be an example of what I'm looking for here? So, you know how rebellious pastry the character is. Um, so
Yes.
then, keeping them the same is like having them do what they have always done. Breaking the character would be like, if you were to have him go, let's see, if you were to just have them randomly decide they wanted to be a ballerina, that's not very in character of them.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
I don't think I've ever done that with a character.
so you tend to like to keep the characters as written.
Yeah, kinda.
Now, now I'm kind of curious what you mean by like mentally breaking the characters.
Ho ho ho. Ho, 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 ho. Give them PTSD, depression, all that type of stuff.
Oh shoot. Um, did pastry has pastry ever made it into any of your stories?
No.
Hmm. That goes to my next question of if you did, would you make them more mentally messed up than they already are?
I do it to a limit. I don't want to completely break them.
What if what if the character is already depressed?
I don't change that unless I absolutely want to.
What do you do when you want? Oh man. I'm just imagining. Okay, you're gonna want to slap me across the screen for this, but I'm just imagining a depressed Sans the skeleton.
Oh my.
Voice crack from you. I heard a voice crack from you.
Shut the hell
Are you a middle school boy? I'm kidding.
up. Shut up. Ugh.
Anyway, let's reel it back in a bit. But I don't think we're off topic. Have you ever thought of doing something like that? Or would that completely break the character?
Uh, I rarely do stuff like this. I know I've done it somewhat in the past, but then again, like I said, I rarely do it.
And then, think you'll ever make any other original characters in the future?
Most likely, yeah.
Um, this is just a question for my personal records, but think you and Haxie would ever work together to make something?
I, I
Or
don't know.
or have you guys
That
already
that that
done
would that would
that?
depend on our interests.
I mean, it could be interesting. Um, I might need some popcorn for that. um,
God damn it.
so let's see. Can you please read me some examples of things you've written?
Ooh, okay.
I guess gummy worms
Uh
will have to do since I don't have any popcorn.
Oh boy, okay. Let's see. How about I read you a snippet from my most recent big fan fiction?
Sure.
Okay. Like it's the biggest story that I've ever written, and it's my most proud story that I've ever done. Let's see.
um, while you go look for that, I want to ask you another question that's gonna make you want to digitally slap me across the face, or even physically, um, slap me across the face because you know where I live, even right now. Um, so you know how, you know how, um, fan fan fiction, um, writers have definitely gotten in trouble for not channel appropriate things, correct? Correct?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of slash drafted a story that was um considered inappropriate to most audiences? And
Several times.
hmm, I'm surprised the answer to that wasn't no.
Like I said, okay. Like I said, I do it several times, but I never actually do it.
Do you ever include any of your friends' OCs in any of your
Absolutely.
stories?
I've I've included one in the big story that I'm trying to have a look at
Why haven't you included Rebellious Pastry Whitey then?
because it's not part of a fandom. I would if it was part of a fandom.
It is the part
uh,
of the fandom. It's called the Rebellious Pastry fandom.
Not good enough.
Fuck off! I'm kidding. Okay, that's enough bucks for one sanction of this um episode, I guess. Anyways, um like I said when I mean mild swearing, I mean, fuck can't be your every other word. Imagine if I put a swear warning on this specific episode because of you.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, all jokes aside, um, have you found your excerpt? You want to um read to us?
All right. I think I found a good spot. Okay, so it's from chapter 12 of my most recent big story called Training, and it is based off of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Also, what's going on with my mic now? Let's see. I'm not being loud. Like, my mic isn't being loud enough, and I'm trying to figure out why. Anyway,
so so for context, uh Sonic was just in a training session with some of his friends, and since he hadn't used his speed in a long time, he underestimated his power, and fell into a nearby lake,
what the heck?
which
What the
which
heck?
this is canonically said that Sonic can't swim.
Yeah?
So I decided to implement this small little scene as like a sort of growth thing for him. And so this is after his friends managed to successfully rescue him.
You want to know what idea I just thought of?
What?
You should do an entire fan fiction series where you have Sonic taking swimming lessons. You
Oh,
definitely should do that.
trust me,
You should do
trust me,
that.
trust me. I have made several stories about Sonic going in water.
No, but having him actually go to swimming lessons with an instructor and everything.
There's already stories about that on the internet.
Dang.
Anyway, here we go. Tails knelt beside him, gently patting his back. You okay, Sonic? Sonic managed a weak nod, still catching his breath. Yeah, thanks to you guys. Knuckles offered a hand to help Sonic up. Don't mention it. You've got your back. As Sonic stood up, he couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of gratitude for his friends. They had saved him once again, not just from drowning, but from the deaths of his own traumatic memories. They eventually told some of some of my OCs, Rainbow, Amy, and Cassandra, about the incident, and they were all concerned for Sonic. But they were reassured that he was okay and just needed to keep his speed in check after decades of wearing a neutralizer. With their support, he knew he alone could survive his past and face whatever challenges lay ahead in their quest to defeat Lord Robotnik and bring peace back to Mobius. Meanwhile, someone had been watching this unfold from a distance and let Robotnik know about this incident. I found another weakness of Sonic, sir. And what's that? He can't swim. Bah, I've known that since we first met. It seems like he almost drowned, but the red echidna saved him just. No matter. I'm sticking to the original plan. I'm counting on you. Yes, sir. And that's it.
Yeah. Let's see. What is up with my audio today? Anyway, um, yeah, let's see. I'm sorry to the Donut Batch members who watched this afterwards. I should have plugged in my mic earlier. But anyways, um, you should have. You want to know what you should have Robotnik find out another weakness of Sonic is?
What?
His big ego. Sonic has a big ego.
Okay, in this story, his ego has basically waned down, so I don't think that would count.
I'm just saying in general. I'm saying in general. In general, he has too big of an ego.
You do have a point.
Have you ever written any Mario and Sonic fan fictions?
Say that again?
Have you ever had written any Mario and Sonic fan fictions?
No.
Why not?
Because they're flippin' rivals. Why? Why would I? That's just so much worse. Oh, dear God.
And this is why I don't fan fic right with you. Yeah. I swear, if I ever, okay, you probably would say, you would probably edit the whole "do you recommend this hobby to others" to say not include rebellious pastry in this. But whenever I think to do fanfic about something, it tends to be the most horrendous combo in the history of ever. And the most
Jesus.
horrendous plot line too.
Jesus.
But yeah. I definitely wouldn't do well as a fanfic writer. I'm checking the volume. But yeah. Let's see. With story writing since you don't have like an average. Didn't spend much time last week story writing either, but does role playing count? Yeah, you're louder than me, which is a surprise. I'm gonna try to um wait, how the fuck does one anyway, continue. Let's continue um with the stream. So um do 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 um so what should I ask you next? Um um let's see. What was the worst fanfic you've ever written? And why is it your worst?
Probably the first one I ever made, cause there's so many grammar errors. It's short as hell, and it just seems very unappealing to me. I've I've been considering remastering it, but I don't know how I would.
That makes sense. Um how you would be or how you'd be like um confused and worried about that. Um um let's see. What other questions can I ask you? How many fanfics have you written?
Too many to count.
If you have to approximate a guess. If you had to approximate a guess, how um or can you not even approximate a guess?
Uh, Probably like 50?
Hmm, that's reasonable. I thought it'd be in the thousands with how you were talking.
Mm.
What is the most insane thing you've ever had a character do?
Ooh, that's difficult.
And what character was it?
Oh boy. I can't think of anything.
Um, that's so fair. Do you ever have a do you have any characters that you absolutely refuse to write fanfics about other than Rebellious Pastry YT?
I
Apparently,
I don't I don't refuse to write fictions about your character. I just typically forget about it.
because you know me by a completely different name.
Exactly.
You know?
But honestly, there there's a lot of characters out there that I probably would write fan fiction about if I knew their character and all that stuff. But there's one character that always pops up in my mind whenever I try to think.
Which one?
You're gonna hate me for this. Mario.
Hmm. So you never want to write Mario fanfic?
Yeah, cause of one obvious reason.
Because he would put all of your Sonic fanfics to shame.
Shut up.
What are you gonna do about it?
Nothing will ever beat my most recent big one. Cause it's technically an AU of sorts.
Ooh, what kind of AU?
A Sonic AU.
Oh, oh right. I'm gonna put in a new input capture. Why don't you read me another insert of a fanfic real quick?
Okay. Eh. Let's uh let's have this one be be from my uh MLP and Henry Stickmin story. Let's see.
Hi, Felix Chaplin. I'm currently having personal mic issues, Rainbow's works. So yeah. Also feel free to ask her. My error with my mic is the fact that I forgot to connect the right one. Um, the right one. And now it's not letting me connect the right one um to in the middle of the show. So yeah. Anyways, Rainbow,
All
keep
right.
reading or start reading, I guess.
All right. I found a good spot towards the end of the story. So again, for context, Rainbow Dash ended up in the world of Henry Stickmin and went through several several things that the Henry Stickmin collection game went through, of course. Basically, imagine Henry Stickmin, but with Rainbow Dash.
Hmm. Just so you know, your voice is starting to sound weird through the audio. What are you doing to your audio?
I'm not doing anything.
Hmm. Audio issues up the wazoo this episode, apparently.
Anyway, so here's a little snippet of my story, Rainbow Dash and a Stickman, that you can find on the website FimFiction. So Dash, Starlight started. From what I've read, ponies in comas tend to have long dreams about something. I'm curious to see if that's true and what you dreamed about. Dash was taken aback. How could she tell everyone about Henry being a criminal to everyone? And it wasn't just a dream. She was actually there. She thought about it for a few seconds before answering. Well, it wasn't really a dream at all. It was more like I was in a different dimension altogether. I woke up in a desert and found a weird looking building in the distance with a gold sign that said bank over the entrance. And to the side, there was this weird person that looked like its entire body was a stick. He was trying to rob the bank, or vault in this case. But my gut was telling me that if I helped this guy, I would be able to get back here. Everyone was stunned at the explanation. They were surprised she was comfortable about being a criminal. Twilight decided to interrupt and ask a question. So you ended up in a different dimension and helped this criminal rob a bank? She asked, and Dash nodded. That sounds really familiar. Keep going. I want to confirm my suspicions. Dash was surprised. She thought Twilight would be furious about her being a criminal. She decided to question it later and continue her story. He des- he decided to team up, and I followed him to a spot farther from the bank. He pulled out a money bag and told me to hide inside. We both climbed inside, and the truck driver stopped to pick us up, and we fueled him to take us inside the bank. When we hopped out, however, he tripped one of the alarms, and the guards from outside came running in to take us to this prison. Twilight stopped her again. What was his name? She asked. Henry Stickmin. And that's where I'm gonna end it off.
Yeah, so let's see. Shoot, where does one even start this question? So what usually happens in the Henry Stickmin universe?
That's a difficult question. Basically, it's a choose your own adventure game, and you have to pick the right option or also fail. Yeah,
That
that's
sounds like real.
a fail screen shows up.
That sounds like real life to some extension.
Yeah, and in most of the fails, Henry dies.
Yikes! Yikes! Poor Henry. So do you have any snippets from your completely original story?
No, they were all for they were all for uh school projects. So unfortunately, I do not.
Think you would ever like branch out into more original stories because there's
Uh,
definitely an audience that would rather have more
maybe,
original stuff than fandom stuff.
maybe.
I am in that audience, or in the audience of rather having original things rather than fandom things. But that's just how I am, I guess. Um, let's see. Um, what other? Let's see. What other questions do I have for you? Um, how, on average, how long does it usually take you um to do a story from start to finish?
Uh, definitely, definitely more than a few months. It would depend because my most recent big fan fiction, aka the Sonic AU, took me about 1.5 years to finish.
Wow.
And I'm still adding on to it. Like it has so many sequels that you don't even know.
Oh man. um, Imagine if you did an AU with all of your friends in it. How do you think that
That
would?
that technically already exists, but I didn't create it.
Who did?
Some of my friends did. I'm just along for the ride. And I even implemented my Sonic AU in there.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Um, let's see. I'm I'm trying to think of more questions. Um, have you ever given up on a fanfic because halfway through you just realize you hate all of it?
Not
Wh-
that I know of.
How is that so?
No, wait. There's there's actually quite a few. Cause cause the the Rainbow Dash and a Stickman one, I I had canceled at one point, but then I decided, you know what? I'm I'm kind of getting back in the groove of writing and stuff like that. So I think I'll start working on it again.
So what
But
made
of
you?
course, there were a few stories that I had on Wattpad that I completely gave up on.
So what made you want to stop those stories?
I lost interest in them.
That's fair. How much of a fan base do you have for your stories?
Not a big one, but at least they're gaining traction.
Um, After you build the proper fan base, do you think you'd ever want to go more into more original stuff or no?
Hmm, maybe.
Um, let's see. Um, so in general, what kind of um characters do you make more mentally ill? Like, what kind of characters do you tend to make more mentally sick?
Mostly the main characters. Like like I've given a few characters PTSD, depression, but it's mostly just main characters.
Like who?
Sonic.
Bro, just stop it. Just stop already. Stop already. That's show, folks. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Ish. Anyways, I think you've mentioned some of your depressed Sonic
I mean, my
stories.
Sonic AU has him have PTSD.
Why do you give Sonic PTSD? That's not very nice of you.
uh,
I'd give Sonic PTSD because I tell him how much better Mario is.
God damn it.
And depression. But that's Why do you like to give Sonic PTSD?
Because I like dark genres. What do you expect?
Why do you like dark genres? And should this be concerning to me?
Uh, it shouldn't concern you at all. But back when I was really young, I first discovered one of the most popular My Little Pony fan fictions out there. That's incredibly dark. That traumatized me for a little bit before I realized I actually liked it.
Wow. That's a turn of events there. Also, next episode, I'm definitely gonna put make sure that the right mic is connected. I don't know why I didn't do it this episode. I'm so sorry. But anyways, continue.
But yeah, I typically torment my favorite characters, which is sometimes the main character in my stories.
I feel bad for your favorite characters. I'm glad I'm not your favorite anymore. I'm glad I'm not your favorite
But
anymore.
some characters get more mercy than others.
Like, who gets more mercy?
Scout from TF2.
Are you gonna create a depressed Sans the Skeleton story because I mentioned it?
Not anytime soon.
But why do you like to give your characters depression?
Mm, satisfies my bloodlust, I guess.
Depression is hell. And yes, I have that. Yes, I have it people before people be like, Pastry, you don't know how depression is. I do. I just don't say, I just don't mention it on this channel because I don't necessarily want to.
Right.
But, um, let's see. Do you ever give like your characters anxiety or mostly depression?
If I remember correctly, I do think I've given them anxiety a few times.
You want to know what character would be so fun to give PTSD to?
Who?
Kirby.
Why Kirby?
I don't know because he always seems to have traumatizing stuff happen to him, and yet he's just as happy as ever, as
Yeah,
if
that's fair.
as if life never, as if what happened to him never affected him,
That's fair.
and that's why I'm saying Kirby. Um, have you ever made a depressed character more happy? Like, imagine if you made a fan fiction about a happy Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Sorry about that. My mom just came home.
Dude, you just missed one of the best ideas I've ever came up with. How dare you? Do you want me to say it again?
Maybe.
A happy Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
I'm sure there's already plenty of stuff of that online.
Um, um, let's see. I was saying, like, imagine if you made a depressed character more happy. That's what I. That's the beginning of that idea. Have you considered like making fan fiction of people's pets, of like animals?
No.
I did not mean that in a furry way. I meant that as in actual pets, not
Again, no.
why not?
Mm, thought never crossed my mind, I guess.
Let's see. So you wouldn't ever make a fanfic about Mario? Would you ever make a fanfic about Bowser?
No.
Why not? He's cool. One of my favoriteest villains of all time.
Again,
Bowser,
obvious
Bowser,
reasons.
Bowser, Bowser. Um, let's see. Who else? Um, we're technically breaking a rule of no heavily mentioning of copyrighted material, but there would be no way of us doing this episode if we didn't. So I'm gonna let it slide. And also we're not like talking about the games themselves, we're just talking about the characters.
Right.
Um, let's see. Um I'm trying to think of more questions, if if you were if you were an interviewer, what kind of questions would you ask somebody about um writing fan fiction that if you were an interviewer interviewing someone who is um talking about um fan fiction, what kind of questions would you ask them and answer it? Because I'm out of questions right now.
Uh, I I would probably ask them what fandoms do you write fan fiction for? And if they're if any of them are related to any of the fandoms that I'm part of, I'd be interested.
But you're technically asking that question to yourself, so there'd be no way to ask that question to yourself. Oh, wait.
Right.
I have a question actually. Have you ever considered like making poetry?
No, I can't rhyme on the spot.
Poetry does not require rhyming. I did an entire semester of poetry, man. Oh, wait. Have you ever done like gender bent characters? Fanfics?
No, but that concept doesn't seem too bad. Like I would write something like that in the near future.
Let's see. Like imagine if there was a trans female version of pastry out there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Cause there already is.
I'm a trans man. I'm a trans man. I said a trans female. I'm a trans male. Know the difference.
Right.
But yeah. Anyways, let's see. Um, a female Sonic? I'm kidding. Yeah. Um, have you ever done any writing that wasn't like fan fiction? Like
Uh,
any
I've
major things that you've done that aren't fan fiction?
no, not that I know of.
What stops you from creative writing that isn't fan fiction?
Lack of ideas.
Yeah. Um, have you ever considered turning your AUs and stuff um into actual like animations? Gotcha not counts. Gotcha not
Damn
counting.
it. Damn it, you knew what I was gonna say.
Gotcha's not real animation. I got you there.
No, I haven't.
I got you there.
Shut up.
What are you gonna do about it? Cry to your. I don't know. Are you gonna cry to your. I don't know. About it?
Just
Best
shut
friend
up.
about it? Yeah, anyways, so, yeah, let's see. Um, let's see. What is all the fandoms you write, fanfic for?
Okay, so I mostly write Sonic fan fiction. Uh, of course, there's some My Little Pony and a Henry Stickmin one too. I've done a Friday Night Funkin' one before, and of course, I've made crossover fan fictions with with both of them being Sonic, but one with Undertale and one with Sprunky.
What's Sprunky?
You don't know what Sprunky is?
No.
Look it up.
Should I? Should I?
You'll trust me, you'll find a lot of brain rot.
Anyway.
But I don't watch the brain rot.
Oh man. What is wrong with you children these days? I like to jokingly judge you. It's fun and funny. But yeah, let's see. Um, I don't think there's any like career paths that would entertain the idea of fan fiction unless you were to work for the company themselves. Um,
Right.
so why Sonic is? I know this is a basic question, but why Sonic?
Because Sonic is my favorite character from the entire franchise.
But why is Sonic your favorite character?
Because he reminds me of Rainbow Dash.
I guess Rainbow Dash is my favorite character from from My Little Pony as well.
Hell yeah.
I thought. Wait, I thought you liked Twilight better than Rainbow Dash, or am I tripping?
She she's she's my second favorite.
Okay. Um. Um. What other questions would you ask a fanfic writer about writing fanfic, and answer it for me? What other questions would you ask?
I'm not too sure.
Let's see. How do you choose what fandoms you write fanfics about?
I don't choose. I just decide what fandom I'm gonna do. Like, oh, I'm gonna write an Among Us fanfic.
Oh man, that'd be. I think we have enough of those.
Yeah, I just picked a random fandom.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. What other questions would you ask a? I'm sorry that I'm out of questions. It's just such a narrow hobby to where I'm like stuck on questions.
That's fine. I'm honestly drawing a blank too.
uh, yeah. Um. How much detail do you put into settings?
Honestly, not much. Only when it's absolutely necessary.
I guess that's fair. Um. Um. And let's see. Did I also put script writing into the I think I did. So what kind of scripts do you write? Or is it the same stuff? Or am I just making it up the fact that you're a script writer?
Uh, I have written part of a script once for a school project back in middle school, and
Think you'd ever
it was
continue?
it was mainly for like a theater thing.
That makes sense. But yeah, think you'd ever write another script or no?
Most likely.
What is your um what is your okay, Hakame? Hello Hakame. Thank you for joining us. You're amazing. He is he's one of the biggest fans of this dream show that we've seen so far, so I'm always
Ah,
happy to see him. Um, you've definitely said how the show have made bad days better for him.
right.
Anyways, what?
The question they wrote was, "What's your favorite fan fiction that you wish it was canon?" Oh boy. Uh,
If it's hard for you to choose one, I say top three. Also, hi Nat Flats. We're doing a Q&A, or not Q&A. We're doing a hobby interview show on fan fiction. So please feel free to ask any channel appropriate questions about fanfic in our chat. Thank you.
there's there's two stories that I've written that I would like to be canon. Uh, they're both really short, but they're like my they're like my own episodes of My Little Pony in a way.
Oh, what happens in those episodes?
They both feature Rainbow Dash. So basically, one one has the author of Daring Do go missing and Rainbow Dash goes after her, and the other one, Pinky gets really sick and they don't have a cure.
Um, it's a okay, Hakame. It's okay. The notification got a little weird for this episode because I set up a stream announcement. Then Streamlabs is like, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. Okay, high pitches are my worst nightmare right now. They're like, I don't want to. Um, shoot, train of thoughts falling off a cliff. Anyway, um. Yeah, the notifications are kind of weird. But please note, Hakame, that um that our shows tend to go from um 4 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Standard, and you can do that calculation in your time zone. Anyways, continue with what you were saying, Rainbow.
I'm done.
Shoot. Um, sorry. Um, have you ever considered going to college for a writing degree or no?
Kinda.
Um,
I've kinda considered it.
that's so fair. And then let's see. Also, Hakame, sorry that my audio is being weird. I forgot to connect my microphone to things on time, so yeah. Um, anyways, have you ever considered like doing voiceovers for your fan fictions and posting them on YouTube or SoundCloud or somewhere?
I have done somewhat of a voiceover in the past with one of my past YouTube channels that was taken down,
Wh-
but
Why was it taken down?
school account.
Oh, right.
But I don't think I would do one in the near future.
Have you ever completed a not safe for work slash not channel appropriate fan fiction? And
No,
it you
and I've
have
never started one either.
oh I thought you said you did.
I haven't. I've considered
Oh,
writing one,
I was just
but
gonna ask you.
I have never done one.
I was gonna ask you if you did one and published it, if it did better than your safe for work ones. But since we're lucky the fact that you only do safe for work ones, honestly. Because a lot of fanfic writers don't. And that's my problem with fanfic writers. Do you get any of that backlash of do you ever get that backlash of um
No, I don't.
negativity? No, you don't. That's fair. Some people probably would once you get higher up there. Um um I don't know what else to ask you. Hakame, do you have any? Also, Hakame, I have a show this Wednesday too. Anyways, so do you have any more questions, Hakame? Yes, we were supposed to end at 6, but yes, I had to start the show at 4:30. So, um, if I push one end, I push the other, if possible. Just to make sure that we give you your full 2 hours of pastry showtime a week. Or twice this week and none last week because life happened. But, I still wanted to make sure this show happened, both for Rainbow's sake and your sake. Um, Rainbow, do you have any more questions that you would ask a fanfic writer if you were on a hobby interview show with a fanfic writer, and how you'd answer it?
Uh, I do not know.
Um, let's see. Do we want to end the show early, or do we want me to re-ask some of the preset questions?
Uh,
Because we don't
I wouldn't
have
I wouldn't mind if we ended it a little early,
cool,
honestly.
coolio. Alrighty. Do you have any closing announcements as far as like what you're planning to do with the channel in the future?
I do not, but I would like to put a link in the chat to my channel if you don't mind.
I thought I did that. Oh well, I'll do it right now. I thought I did it. My bad. Check Rainbow Sparkle out on YouTube after I remember to send the link in the chat. Um,
Yeah, if you like gotcha stuff, if you like memes, gotcha reactions, go ahead and check it out.
alrighty. And then
I'm almost to 90 subs.
nice. Are you gonna eat a sub sandwich after you hit 100? But yeah. Anyways, my closing announcement is I'm so sorry that I haven't really been working on my wallet stories video. I've just been having a hard time like processing a lot right now, which is probably the same a lot right now that most everyone is processing. I've I'm just have needed like a few extra like moments to be just to figure out everything that's going on right now. And yeah. Anyways, do you have I'll try to get back to it as soon as I can. And yeah, do you have an outro?
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I'll see you later, my little sparkles.
Anyways, I platonically love you, my donut batch, and see you in the future to come. Bye.